Hello, and welcome to Reality TV News Update, where you'll find the most recent news, entertaining moments, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. These house guests crammed 2 days into every one day in the Big Brother 27 house. The Morgan-Vince debates continued into the wee hours of the morning once more. And this is why we don't see them up and moving until almost noon their time. Sunday was no different from Saturday with its 5 a.m. lights out. Morgan is holding the veto and is prepared to force the issue, so Vince's opposition to renominating Lauren, his F2 GOAT, is once more the only topic of the day. Or not. Or perhaps she will. But Vince, what do you want? She doesn't care, and she'll do it anyway because she doesn't care. The two of them are exhausting. Read on to get all the details from Sunday's daytime feeds. Sign up now to try the live feeds on Paramount+. Don't forget to sign up for the Big Brother live feeds right now so you don't miss anything else this season. Enjoy. Back up and read the Saturday highlights report before moving on to the Sunday events. Big Brother 27 live feed highlights Sunday, September 7, 2025. 9 a.m. BBT Kelly is up ahead of the other HGs. 10:30 a.m. BBT HGs got their wake-up call after a late night. 11:45 a.m. BBT and Morgan and Vince are talking upstairs again. Vince is very worried about Lauren going home on his hoe. 11:55 a.m. BBT. Morgan claims that she serves as his shield because others will seek her out in order to reach him. Morgan worries if others will think he's running his hoe, but Vince doesn't care. Vince says he's going to miss the game so much. Morgan hopes they all hang out all the time after it. 12 p.m. BBT. Vince is confident Lauren isn't lying to him, but Morgan points out Lauren did it before with her noms. 12:05 p.m. BBT. Kelly wonders if America loves her or hates her based on how they feel about her going after Rachel. 12:15 p.m. BBT. Morgan tells Vince that it is a double plus for his game to end Lauren's perfect streak and save her this week as well. 12:25 p.m. BBT. Vince says he's bringing Morgan to F2 no matter what. He promises her he won't burn her. Morgan says she'd take him over Ashley at F3 and makes the same promise. 12:40 p.m. BBT. And Morgan goes to tell Ashley that Vince is now willing to put Lauren on the block to show he can make a big move and also his strength to keep his allies safe. 12:45 p.m. BBT. And Morgan is back upstairs and points out to Vince this will be the first time Keanu and Kelly are competing against each other in the blockbuster. 1:05 p.m. BBT. Vince is telling Keanu he's going to renom Lauren. Keanu asks Vince, if there is a tie between him and Lauren, will Vince tiebreak to keep him? Vince promises he would but admits it'd be difficult. Not a chance. 2:30 p.m. BBT. And Morgan is carefully crafting a charcuterie board to share with the house. Angela would be so proud. 3:30 p.m. BBT. Ava complains to Kelly and Ashley that she was banking on getting AFP, but that Rachel took it from her. 4:05 p.m. BBT. And Morgan promises Vince she will vote to keep Lauren safe this week since she's so worried about it. She even says she would be okay with a F4 of them plus Ashley and Lauren. 5 p.m. BBT. And Lauren tells Vince the goal for Thursday is Keanu going to jury. 5:25 p.m. BBT. Ashley and Keanu are chatting in the backyard talking general topics. 6:20 p.m. BBT. And Morgan has the M and Ms. outside with Ashley going over votes. Morgan is worried about Keanu leaving because she becomes the next big threat to target. Morgan is certain that Vince would not tiebreak in Keanu's favor, and Ashley wonders if Vince would. Morgan says they need to think more than just 1 week out on these moves. 6:50 p.m. BBT. Ashley breaks it to Keanu that Vince would not break a tie in his favor against Lauren. Keanu says then Vince will lose his jury vote. 6:55 p.m. BBT. Keanu tells Ashley that the whole house is made at Vince and he thinks he's a liar. 7:15 p.m. BBT. Vince explaining to Lauren that he has 2 strikes against Morgan and if he doesn't do what she says this time then he's in big trouble. 7:20 p.m. BBT. Lauren is crying after Vince told her how he's going to renom her. Lauren says Ava and Kelly would never put her up. Vince says that shows she will have their 2 votes to stay. 7:35 p.m. BBT. Vince asks Morgan if Lauren is staying in any vote situation, then why does it matter and why does she have to use the veto? Morgan says she wants to use the veto because she wants to gain favor with Ava. When Vince talks to Lauren, he keeps rewinding, which frustrates Morgan. 7:45 p.m. BBT. Vince is still trying to argue against putting up Lauren to Morgan. He's saying he will do it, but clearly protesting heavily. 8:15 p.m. BBT. Morgan tells Vince she's upset that Kelly is telling HGs that Morgan is running Vince's hoe. Morgan declares that Lauren will win her vote over Kelly or Keanu. Vince asks Morgan if she's going to go back to sleeping downstairs now that she's got what she wanted from him. 8:20 p.m. BBT. Kelly is finally getting her time with Vince now that Morgan has left. Earlier, Kelly said that they had been there for 2.5 hours while she waited and stuck her head in the whole room. 8:25 p.m. BBT. Kelly tells Vince Keanu informed her that she is the target. Vince says that's not true, and it'll be Keanu going if he's on the block, that it won't even need a tiebreaker. 8:30 p.m. BBT. Vince asks Kelly if Ashley goes up on the block, would Kelly still vote out Keanu? Kelly confirms yes. She would vote out Keanu over Ashley. In the situation where Ashley was the renom and Kelly won the BBBB, so she became a voter. 8:55 p.m. BBT. Lauren can talks that her F2 might be putting her on the block. She advises keeping an eye out to see if it occurs. 9 p.m. BBT. Ashley is next. She tells Vince her perfect scenario is for Kelly to go this week. Ashley promises Vince she would vote to evict Keanu over Lauren if that's what he wants her to do. There are no situations for Ashley where she votes to keep Kelly. 9:20 p.m. BBT. Ashley reminds Vince that Lauren would still need to work with him even if he reprimands her this week because she has no other options. 9:35 p.m. BBT. Ava is upstairs for her turn now. She tells Vince this isn't a move she would make. Keep in mind here, it would involve Morgan taking Ava off the block, and she's telling Vince not to do this. 10 p.m. BBT. Group dinner time. Morgan cooked up a meal for everyone. 11:20 p.m. BBT. Ava relaying to Lauren about her talk with Vince upstairs. Lauren asks if Vince said he was going to put her up. Ava says not in so many words. Ava thinks Kelly was up there earlier causing problems for them. 12 a.m. BBT. Vince Cam talks that Morgan is screwing up his game this week. 12:15 a.m. BBT. Lauren and Vince are back upstairs in whole room. Lauren tells him if he puts her up, then he loses her. Vince agrees that she is to blame for Morgan. BBT. 12:25 a.m. Vince tells Lauren that he thinks Ashley and Morgan are playing games with him. He doesn't know how to keep Morgan from using the veto. 12:40 a.m. BBT. Lauren warns Vince that if she loses BBBB, then she's going home. She's sure of it. 12:45 a.m. BBT. Lauren tells Vince she will tank the jury against him by telling Rachel and will how he had a F2 with her, but then risked her by renaming her. 1 a.m. BBT. Morgan is now upstairs. Lauren and her are seemingly both trying to outweight the other in the whole room while Vince takes his shower. 1:20 a.m. BBT. Vince finally finishes up his long shower, possibly trying to avoid what's waiting in the next room. And now Lauren volunteers to leave so they can talk. 1:30 a.m. BBT. Vince is restraining Lauren's retaliation. He says he's worried about Ashley betraying and voting to keep Keanu instead of Lauren. Vince tells Morgan that she is more concerned with getting Lauren on the block than how his game is affected by that. Morgan tells Vince that he shouldn't reprimand Lauren because he's getting irritated. 1:45 a.m. BBT. Vince tells Morgan he always picks her M because of how he feels about her, and that's deeper than just this game. 1:10 a.m. BBT. Morgan declares that she will not use the veto. She says she's going to look like the little puppy that does whatever Vince wants even after he keeps screwing her over. 2:10 a.m. BBT. Morgan wants to go tell Ashley what Vince just told her about Ava giving Lauren more importance than Ashley. Vince is very concerned and asks Morgan not to do that. BBT 2:15 a.m. Vince goes to Lauren to tell her that Morgan won't use the veto. He asserts that he will not reprimand Lauren for her kindness throughout the season. 2:20 a.m. BBT Morgan is alone on the hammock and has her M and Miz to go over scenarios. She just never stops gaming. BBT at 2:30 a.m. Ashley inquires about Vince's actions and the reason he changed his mind so quickly. Morgan says it's because Lauren cried. 3:30 a.m. BBT Morgan and Vince are back at the discussion and debate in the whole room. 4 a.m. BBT Vince telling Morgan how this would be too hard for him to go back on his word. Morgan needs to know when Vince said Lauren would be safe. He claims to have one hoe. Morgan is curious as to why he hasn't told her this before. 4:25 a.m. BBT Vince asks if they can just go to sleep now with the assumption that the veto is not being used. 4:30 a.m. BBT Morgan doesn't like the idea that he wants her to keep someone safe who nominated her last week. Vince says then she can make the decision she wants and he will deal with the consequences. 4:45 a.m. BBT Vince wants Morgan to tell Lauren directly that she's keeping her safe even if she goes up after Morgan uses the veto. Morgan does not want to do this because Lauren will repeat it around the house. Vince is getting frustrated. 5 a.m. BBT Vince finally turns out the light. Morgan is sleeping once more in the hoe bed with his back to the opposite side. He asks if it's okay for him to take his shirt off. She has no interest. Vince says he loves her. He's tugging at her legs and Morgan asks if there's something he needed. Vince stumbles in his words and backs off. Even though the veto meeting on Monday is going to be very interesting, I never thought Vince would nominate Lauren. Yes, I think Morgan is prepared and really wants to use the veto on Ava, but Vince has been playing the weasel character all season. He isn't going to change his stripes now. Ceremony is a few hours from now, and we will know the final noms of the week soon. From there, it'll be a countdown to the blockbuster to set up the decision for the 4 votes and a possible tiebreaker by Vince. Sign up now and get Paramount Plus to watch BB27 live and uncensored.